Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have the downbeat. I'll bring the downbeat there.
Okay.
At 10?
At 8, 16, 17, 18.
I got the downbeat at 10.
Yeah, I don't play at 10. So.
All right. Here we try it. I'm not trying to.
You gave a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you were keeping another one.
Yep.
I almost.
Because the eyes I saw across the room, I thought they were going to play.
I'm glad I hesitated for just that split second.
Wish you a Merry Christmas.
You and me, Jim. One, two.
Well, I guess you figured the clap once. That's all.
Jimmy's.
Yeah.
Is that what's next?
Sure, I like the rubber tree. Keep that one handy. Okay.
Yeah, this one's a trumpet, and it's basically the same bore size all the way through until you get to the bell, and then it expands. So, and this is a flugelhorn. It's the same length, but it starts getting fatter sooner, so it changes the tone quality. Flugelhorn. So it's going to sound a little darker.
Hey, cut her up. 2, 3.
prepped him for a little drummer boy.
Oh,
man.
Huh?
Sorry.
Okay.
change
Have a
order.
song
Frosty.
with rest.
I have no rest in Frosty.
You have no rest in Frosty.
The first beat.
Well, sorry to hear that.
We just preempted him.
You can. I want to
Just
hear
as
it.
good.
All right.
We're going with the popular vote. You got this one?
Yeah,
All
give
right.
you three. 1, 2, 3.
Wow, what a great dancer. You see this girl going over there?
I did. I put her on the list.
This pink streak.
I know.
Okay, come. They told me.
Little drummer boy. Okay.
With a special treat of catapult.
With a what?
Special catapult treat.
Well, last team had a special treat, but we didn't tell anybody. I didn't let us know, but we don't want to tell anybody that.
Us public school teachers, we can't pat anybody's pants or we get in trouble.
651.
6:51. All right.
Pardon me?
So it sounds like Pat and some jazz band, and it's kind of time to start maybe some piecemeal. Pretorius and a Price and some of that. So they're coming to these doors. No John.
We may be singing the Star Spangled all by ourselves.
It's got 20 minutes easy.
Okay. Well, I'm not singing here.
You're welcome.
He said, see you tonight. As he left.
He did. He'll be.
Might have gotten caught by the train.
Let us play this
Well,
think so, because I don't even see them yet. And then let's do that Sakura. Maybe we could find some North Korean carols or something.
Oh, here they come.
Well, we better get started. We're getting started.
Let's do it.
Dean Hayes, by authorization of the Board of Governors of the State of Colorado and the Colorado State University faculty, I declare the 113th commencement of the Warner College of Natural Resources and the 131st commencement of Colorado State University to be in session.
Thank you very much, Dr. Conant. To begin our ceremony, please stand and join with Dr. John Lewick in the singing of our national anthem.
What so proudly we hail at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, and please be seated. Well, good evening. It's my honor to welcome you to the Warner College of Natural Resources Fall 2014 Commencement Ceremony. I'm John Hayes, and I'm proud to be the Dean of the Warner College of Natural Resources, and I'm even prouder to be standing in front of you tonight in front of this amazing group of students who are about to become the most recent graduates of Colorado State University. To the graduates sitting here today in this hall, today is one of those days, one of those very special times that'll soon be a defining point in your life. Years from now, you'll look back and define things as having happened before this night and after this night. And as you think about that, I know that many of you consider this milestone to be graduation, and it is, but that's not actually what we call it. We call it commencement. Commencement. It's not a closure, it's not an end point, but a beginning and a start. Certainly, we're here tonight to celebrate all your successes and the tremendous work that you did while you were here at CSU, but more importantly, we're here to celebrate the turning of a page and to bear witness to the commencement of that next chapter in your lives. The first classes in natural resources took place here at CSU in 1904. It was 110 years ago. It's a long time ago. Think about that. Teddy Roosevelt was president. Wright brothers had just successfully flown their first plane. Crayons had just been invented. Oklahoma wasn't even a state, and women didn't have the right to vote. But the first students were learning about natural resources here at CSU. And from that time until today, there's been an uninterrupted stream of students coming through Fort Collins to learn about natural resources, and then that stream continued on with those graduates making important impacts in the state, in the country, and across the globe. To the students graduating here tonight, you're about to take your place in that long line of leaders who have shaped the world's natural resource professions through their degrees at CSU. The path that you took to get to this really important juncture tonight and to this ceremony wasn't a solitary one. There were at least 3 important groups of people that were instrumental in that journey, and I want to take a minute and recognize them. The first of those people are your fellow students in Warner College of Natural Resources who shared the journey with you, stressed over exams, learned beside you, and traveled through adventures to your place here today. Many of those people moved from being strangers to being close friends and colleagues, and some of those people will be the closest friends and colleagues that you have for the rest of your lives. I invite you to take a minute, turn to the person beside you and thank them, give them a high five, give them a hug for what they've done for you. The second group of people is the amazing faculty of the Warner College. World-class group of faculty members who've shared their knowledge with you. They've shared their time and done whatever they could to help you achieve your potential. I'd like to ask the faculty to please stand for a minute so we can recognize and thank them for all they do for our students. And third, and perhaps the most important group, the parents and spouses, the friends and siblings, the family members, and the community of people that stood beside you and lended a helping hand on your path to this important juncture. Would the family and friends of our graduating students please stand and be recognized so that we can thank you for all you've done for these students. At this time, I'd like to invite Associate Dean Rich Conant back to the podium to introduce our platform party and to lead tonight's ceremony. Rich.
Good evening and welcome. As I introduce each person on the platform, I will ask them to rise and remain standing through the introductions. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Dr. Ken Wilson, Head, Department of Fish and Wildlife and Conservation Biology. Dr. Frederick Smith, Head, Department of Forest and Rangeland Stewardship. Dr. John Ridley, Interim Head, Department of Geosciences. Dr. John Moore, Head, Department of Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Dr. Michael Manfredo, Head, Department of Human Dimensions of Natural Resources. Dr. Stuart Cottrell, Associate Professor, Department of Human Dimensions of Natural Resources. Dr. Patrick J. Burns, Vice President for Information Technology and Dean of the Libraries. Dr. Rick Miranda, Provost and Executive Vice President. And Ms. Dorothy Horrell, Member, Board of Governors of the Colorado State University System. Mr. Andrew Worth, our keynote speaker, and Dr. John P. Hayes, Dean, Warner College of Natural Resources. Let us recognize this group. I would also like to take a moment to introduce Dr. John Loic, our soloist in our quintet, Big Thompson Brass. Let us recognize this group as well. Now I'd like to call on Jesse Elgren, graduating senior in Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology, to give our graduating senior address.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Conant. First and foremost, I would like to thank all the families and friends for coming today and showing support for myself and my fellow graduates. It truly means a lot that you were here to celebrate this momentous day with us, especially at 8 in the morning, maybe 7 at night. Wow, it's really incredible to be standing here in front of you all today. I'm not entirely sure how I ended up here. I remember back freshman year, not believing that I would even be surviving general chemistry. But here we are, after cramming in some Latin names, poring over plant identification notes, squinting at vole skulls, and measuring trees, praying that somehow, we would fail 3 exams that happened to occur in 1 week, spending hours in the computer lab, finishing GIS assignments, our capstone projects, and making posters. I have to say, my big support system was definitely caffeine. I think that especially this rings true to most of us here this evening. However, the bonds that were made here during these hard times and hard classes are indispensable. Not only were these connections made with the classroom, but also through the amazing clubs that we can be found here at the Warner College of Natural Resources. And with these bonds can wonderful memories that will last years to come, including helping band owls, planting trees, volunteering at a ranch, fishing, climbing mountains, and much more with a community of great friends. But how did we all end up here at the Natural Resource College? For my path, this all begins when I was really young. Something I know and share with a lot of my peers. It all started when I was 5 years old. Our family dog had gotten a hold of a wild bird and injured it severely. If I remember correctly, I quickly stepped in, stopped the dog, and picked up the injured bird in my small hands. The next thing I remember, I rushed into the kitchen, yelling at my mom that there was a big emergency. My mom, quickly coming up, frightened at the scenario in her head, as all mothers often do, followed me outside. There I proceeded to lay right by the bird and tell her that we all needed to save it. My mother had no clue to do, but with her children so adamantly invested in the bird's future, she called the Humane Society, and they explained to do. As the instructions were told to us, we had to put the bird in a box and provide it with water. I checked out periodically, and after a while, I went to my mother and told her that the big bird had died. But at that, it was okay, because we had tried to save it. It was then that my parents knew that I should work with animals. For those of you who know me, that was the beginning of my life, more or less as a bird nerd, a wildlife nerd. It wasn't until a lot later, however, that I discovered that I should pursue a career in natural resources. I had always loved outdoors. My childhood filled with fond memories of camping, hiking, exploring Yellowstone, coming face to face to a black bear, waking up in a tent surrounded by deer shrouded in the mist, and watching foxes with their kits nearby. I've never thought to follow my passion as a career until after high school, when I discovered that one of the doors closed was another option to me, actually, and that this wasn't just some cheesy saying. I had decided to apply to volunteer at a local hospital. At that time, I knew I wanted to become a doctor, maybe change the world, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, I was rejected. It felt like my future was already failing to shambles. I didn't know what I wanted to do. In hindsight, I truly was glad I didn't get in, because in the absence of this opportunity, I decided to volunteer at a local shelter, or try to at least, a pre-vet shelter, anything. Once I had the opportunity, there I worked with 2 inspirational zookeepers. They didn't have the passion for animals in their care, but for all wildlife. They involved me in their ongoing conservation work to help work in Africa, to work with griffon vultures in the wild through public outreach and education. This summer, I learned the values of hard work. I learned how incredible wildlife in the land is, and I learned that I could make a difference and combine my passion with wildlife. This is how I became a part of the Warner College of Natural Resources community. Just 2 weeks ago, I was asked in my biodiversity class what inspired me to get a degree in natural resources. Elated and excited with stories where I was to share to the class. Whether we became part of this college because we never had the opportunity to experience wildlife growing up, or wanted to share our new knowledge with those who are our similar backgrounds, or because our families, seeing the work that they've done over many years, or we were undeclared, somehow stumbling upon this path. One thing is for sure, in the words of my classmates, Warner fits like a glove. It felt natural to be here. The passion was inspiring that we found in both faculty and students alike in Warner, and was made me so thankful to be part of this incredible community, and was instilled in me a feeling that I am a part of something bigger than myself now. And yes, even though I'm not going to be a doctor or veterinarian, that I can still have a big impact on this world. No matter what brought us here, we're leaving with our eyes open to the world and the wonders around us, and need to preserve and share what we've discovered here. Looking out at my fellow graduates gives me great hope for the future. I no longer see my peers. Instead, I see professionals. This isn't goodbye, but rather a wish for good. Thank you, and congratulations, class of fall 2014.
Thank you, Jesse. At this time, I would like to call on graduating senior Torrin Schaefer, graduating senior in the Fish and Wildlife and Conservation. Sorry. Torrin, can you come up, please? Pardon me.
Hi, thanks, Dr. Conant. I have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Andrew Worth. Mr. Worth graduated as a Natural Resources, Recreation, and Tourism degree from CSU and is now the CEO of Squaw Valley Holdings. Mr. Worth has been connected to the natural resources, mountain resort, and hotel industry his entire life. He has served in a variety of roles, having experience as a backcountry ranger for Rocky Mountain National Park, a wilderness ranger in the San Pedro Parks Wilderness Area, the Chief Marketing Officer for the Steamboat Ski and Resort Corporation, and the President of the Mountain Village Partnership. Mr. Worth and his wife Karen currently reside in Truckee, California, and we are lucky to have him joining us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Worth.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here tonight. I was a little bit surprised. I thought I was attending the world premiere of the movie The Interview. So you might imagine I was surprised when some fellow handed me this coat and this gown. But seriously, Dean Hayes, fellow members of the Platform Party, family and friends, and most importantly, students, Colorado State University of 2014. Congratulations. Very good evening to all of you, and again, congratulations on your graduation. Before I make every attempt to engage you, inspire you, and make you smile a little bit, let's get a few things squared away, and let's talk about the things we have in common. I'm quite proud to be a Ram, class of 1986, and while I'm now the CEO of a ski area holdings company, operating company, and live in California, I can tell you quite honestly that coming back here to Colorado State and walking these hallways is very much like coming back home. And like everybody's home, at least all of us here, right? We have here at our home, we have a place to sleep, a place to eat, a place to hold parties. We have a library, and soon we'll have a really interesting place to play football, along with 42,000 of our friends watching. Wow, that was maybe a little bit too sensitive a topic to bring up. I've been away for a little while. In all seriousness, it's great to be back, And my strong sense is that all of you, when you hit pause on your careers and your life, and you come back here to Colorado State, excuse me, you too will have a feeling and this sense of coming home. Make no mistake, coming back here and speaking with you tonight, I truly find an incredible honor. It's with great pride that I am offered this opportunity to address you on this wonderful day. Of the many goals that I have for you is to wish you all the greatest success, substantially more success than I've realized in my life and my career. And yes, the top of that list is the great goal of outperforming me by actually remembering who spoke at your commencement. That's actually not funny. I don't remember who spoke at our commencement. I'm proud to be of Colorado State, and although 28 years separates us, we have more in common than you may think. Allow me to point out a few of those things that we very much have in common. Like you, I also do not know the CSU fight song. I'm sure glad that was a timely comment, because we didn't back then. I'm glad no. Back then, as remains the case with all of you today, we spoke and still speak very slowly in no more than 1 and 2 syllable words when conversing with somebody from the University of Colorado. Yeah, but you paid for your kids' education, so. Other similarities include, like you, most of my assignments were completed by way of all-nighters fueled by Panhandler's Pizza, and back then Jolt Cola. Now you have Red Bull. And the assignment was wrapped up the next morning about 10 minutes prior to class at Avogadro's number with a kick of caffeine and inspiration right before I made my way to class. And like you, when I went skiing, I went to Winter Park for the day and to Steamboat for the weekend, because those mountain communities and those hills, those are feature-friendly, very cool communities. And driving up to Steamboat by way of the Poudre Canyon through North Park and seeing the Never Summers is just really incredible and always will be real Colorado. That's right. Another interesting similarity I noted is while reading the Collegian, as was the case when I was attending CSU, there was a heavily promoted class on learning how to avoid procrastination. What's funny about that? Which, when you think about it, is really a mind bender, avoiding procrastination. Nonetheless, that class on learning how to avoid procrastination was promoted heavily back then, and all of us in the class of '86, like you, still never found time to make it to that class. Thought I was serious, right? On a more meaningful note, like all of you, on my way to and from classes and campus, I would look to the west, I would look to the foothills, and then up to the mountains, and then ultimately up to Long's Peak. Long's Peak was and is an important and meaningful marker with deeper and more profound value on my personal compass, and I trust it is on all of your personal compasses still today. Lastly, a similarity that comes to mind is that the faculty and staff of this great college are among the best in the country, and they still work hard to ensure the quality of your education. This is the same, you see. They care about the environment, and they care very much about you. You have paid, if not borrowed to pay, for their services, but they have given you their best, they have given you more, and for that you have gained. Across a remarkably diverse group of people in this room, there remain genuinely shared values. One of the treasured convergences in life that infrequently comes about. However, there are in fact substantial differences from 1986 in CSU to now. There are in fact real contrasts to when I was going to school here. This month, the Collegian on campus reported on the top 10 moments of the CSU football season, which, as we all know, is far from over. Utah's going down. Which, as you know, this was a great year, finishing near in the top 25 in the AP top 25. In contrast, when I was going to school, that same article in the Collegian wasn't the top 10, it was in fact the top 2. And they would include that one time we got a first down And this part's really true. One season where we actually broke the 21-game losing streak. Music, that's also very true. I don't know if you guys know that. We had a 21-game losing streak. It's far different today. Music is different. A song by Journey, Don't Stop Believin', was such a big hit on our minds at all times, and at parties we'd sing it at the top of our lungs, and I bet none of you have even heard of that song or know the lyrics to that song. Or I bet that if you do know the lyrics to that song, that you don't have the guts to sing them right now. You know, that's one of those lines where you had no idea where it was going to go. Thank you. That's outstanding. Another contrast is that while sitting in my Edwards Hall dorm room, I was completing my assignment on a Commodore 64, featuring cutting-edge storage at 64 megabytes. That was incredible. It was off the charts. Today it's different. In your pocket you carry 20,000 times the computing power. And thank goodness to Al Gore and Steve Jobs, your fantasy football team is only one click away. Now on to slightly higher purposes. I grew up in a family where the country's national parks and conservation of our nation's lands wasn't the only topic of discussion, but it was in fact the primary topic of discussion. My grandfather was Conrad Worth, and he ran the National Park Service for Presidents Eisenhower, Kennedy, and Johnson. And while my gramps would speak to me with intensity about the complications and barriers regarding the political environment he navigated, it was always evident through his genuinely humble narratives that he could and did thoughtfully listen and learn to those with whom he worked. Then, when the naysayers would create their predictable batch of can't-do-thats, he would rise above the din and act, always acting with the best interests of the people, the environment, and our lands at hand. It wasn't the easiest thing to do. The easy thing to do would have been to proclaim himself a victim of the bureaucracy. Consider and keep in mind the times. This is post-World War II America. There really wasn't a society-wide environmental ethic of any breadth, and the country was in turmoil over important other fronts, like racial equality, something with which we still are very much struggling with today and have yet to fully reconcile. In the 50s, the works of the legendary Scotsman John Muir had some minimal traction, but the Hetch Hetchy Dam matter was a thing of the distant past. Although Leopold's writings were just starting to seed a true conservation movement across America, but it was all very new and very much in its nascent stages. The paint of America's environmental ethic was recently applied and was still very much drying. And no, they didn't have the same benefit of the interweb, Google, email, so to develop broad societal-wide trends and movements in the course of 1 or 2 days. Gramps and his team saw very clearly that with the new mobility the Americans had with their cars, the interstate system, and the Americans' newfound appreciation for visiting their national parks, put us on a track to absolutely loving our national parks to death. Moreover, those who worked for the Park Service were housed in dilapidated homes and cabins. The very people who were there to protect the lands and engage the American people lived in nothing short of blighted conditions. The lands needed protection, but they also needed to be accessed by their owners, the American people. In that era, bringing about broad public land protection policies and legislation, it was not an easy battle at all, nor a battle that was truly ever won. But the battle was materially advanced, and his work and his team's work, as expressed in the strategic initiative called Mission 66, not only helped protect the parks, but simultaneously allowed for Americans to visit and use their country's national parks without ruining that space and those lands. At times when I was young, he and I would steal away from the family, and sometimes in my late teens, we would talk for hours. Later in my teens, he would hand me a cigar. Shortly thereafter, I would turn green but still be listening quite intensely. He and I had a very real connection, and I miss him very much. I listened so intently to his detailed stories associated with the national parks, from the seashores of Cape Hatteras to the crown jewels of Yosemite, Yellowstone, and Rocky Mountain National Park, and I learned that his path through adversity to success was a winding, twisted, severely uphill path, which rarely featured any commensurate downhill sections. That it took patience, humility, and perseverance. I learned how he navigated this path. He chose to listen intensely, learn, and if needed, rise above the din and act, but always act with the interest of the American people and the lands at hand. And sometimes that was in the face of extreme frustration and irrational opposition. Conrad Worth's influence, if not patriarchal like directives, had me reading at a young age the works of the godfather of the preservation movement, John Muir, and the works of Aldo Leopold, the godfather of the conservation ethic. Sand County Almanac remains very much part of who I am today. It implanted a very deep level current within me that is nothing short of a very real conservation ethic. While going to school here at CSU during summers, as previously mentioned, I was a backcountry ranger in Rocky Mountain National Park on the North Fork of the Big Thompson, a wilderness ranger in San Pedro Park's wilderness area in northern New Mexico, and also, to pay for tuition, was a sawyer on a shot crew, an initial attack fire crew, the Santa Fe Hotshots. That experience and that work was becoming my path. It was becoming my career path. And I was destined, if not fully meaning to follow in my grandfather's footstep. I chose to combine my love of the mountains with a different type of career and chose the ski business. It worked out to be a terrific convergence. To the state, however, in my job you will clearly see the work and evidence of my conservation ethic in most certainly Colorado State University, and most certainly this college. Not just the practical skills I learned here, while such as in the class whereby we worked on the draft EIR, which was, in that case, the development of the brand new Beaver Creek ski area, or the geology and resource management classes up at Pingree Park. But I would suggest, even more importantly to the state, the conservation ethic, which was instilled in me by my grandfather and very much evidenced, substantiated, and accelerated here at Colorado State, reveals itself today in my work and the work of my team and my company. I submit to you today that regardless of your career path or destiny, your passion, you will always have the tremendous benefit of the experience and learnings drawn from the College of Natural Resources here at Colorado State. Those benefits can reveal themselves directly, or they can reveal themselves indirectly. You have the basis to attain virtually anything you seek to accomplish, but I ask one thing. Regardless of where you land, consider reflecting upon the conservation ethic that thankfully prevails today in this room and actualizing it in your work and in your life. The lessons from my grandfather are offered for your consideration. Restated, he chose to listen intently, learn from those with whom he worked, and if needed, rise above the din and act, but always act in moments of extreme frustration and in the face of irrational opposition at times. He would always act in the interest of the environment and the people. Please consider when thinking about this lesson that the road to success most absolutely has many parking spaces. Please keep driving. If you care about the environment, do something more with your intellect, your passion, and your knowledge. Do something more than put a bumper sticker on your car. Use your intellect, use your knowledge, and use your passion to influence, advocate, and affect change. If you are lacking a focal point, allow me to offer up the bare truths and realities of climate change as the single most real threat to our society and environment as a focal point for your efforts. At this point, with some risk, I choose to share something with you of a more personal level. Many years ago, I became a skydiver. It's a sport that I truly love, free falling in between 14,000 feet above ground level and 2,000 feet AGL. Is some of the most intense and condensed joys I've ever experienced. I truly love that sport, and I still do today. However, just over a year ago, I had a bad wreck during a landing whereby my right arm was torn off, and I was alone in a vineyard of all places. bleeding out. My arm was detached and shredded, and my brachial artery was rapidly letting go of that cliche, my life's blood. I was literally but a few moments away from dying, and I absolutely knew it. My experience as an EMT and work on high-angle rescue and trauma in the backcountry up in Rocky Mountain National Park allowed me to do a quick assessment, and with my left fist stuffed underneath my right arm, I was able to slow the bleeding enough to keep shock and death at bay. I lived through that day. I survived. There's tremendous value and power in those words to me, to my wife, and to my family. Well over 20 surgeries to reattach and reconstruct my arm were ultimately and somewhat miraculously successful. I have frequently been asked what epiphanies I have come to since that occasion, October 13th of 2013. And what I learned from being quite literally less than a minute from dying. The honest answer is that I'm not too sure, but I'm still learning. I can share this with you, however. I have a very strong and very deep level appreciation and genuine gratitude for those around me, for today, and ultimately for all of you. In that context, please take a moment to contemplate the very real power of gratitude. Stop for a moment and thank your parents. Thank them today. Thank them again and again. Many of you will be moving back in with them. You were wondering how I was going to exit out of that somber story, weren't you? Thank them. Please remember the very fundamental gift of this day and those around you. In closing, a quick summary and a recap. Remember, for the rest of your life, as I have learned, it will be important to continue to speak slowly and in 1- and 2-syllable words to University of Colorado graduates. That is, in fact, an immutable truth. Please have a purpose in life that is well beyond money and station, and demonstrate gratitude and respect for those around you and for the environment. And was the case with my grandfather, Conrad Worth. Please listen intensely to those around you. But please consider the environment. Please consider society. And when you face obstacles, when you face irrational opposition, choose to act. Don't choose to be victimized by bureaucracy. Choose to act in the interests of our lands and our society. Class of 14, it's been a real honor to address you. Party on.
Thank you, Mr. Worth. Will Dr. Stuart Cottrell, Associate Professor in the Human Dimensions of Natural Resources, please come forward and recognize our University Honor students as well as our College Honor Society initiates.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Graduates of the University Honors Program may graduate with 1 or 2 distinctions. Their effort is a considerable academic achievement and reflects on the broad and intellectual interest of the honors students. A University Honors Scholar has completed a body of arts and sciences honors coursework, including a foreign language, a senior honors seminar, and an honors thesis, a second major, or a double minor with a graduating GPA of 3.5 or better. A University Honors participant has completed 24 hours of honors coursework with the 3.5 GPA. It is very difficult for students within our college to complete such a program in addition to their own requirements within their majors. This semester we have 6 graduates from the university in the College Honors Program. Will you please stand as your name is called? Lauren Heck, Calandria Puntini, Torin Schaefer, Ian Smith from the Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology, and Rebecca Hobson from the Department of Forest and Rangeland Stewardship. Congratulations. Now we will recognize our candidates of distinction for fall 2014. These graduates symbolize the academic achievements of approximately the upper 10% of today's degree recipients. Under the policy of the Faculty Council, candidates for distinction are determined as follows. Those with designation of summa cum laude constitute approximately the top 1% of the class. Those designated magna cum laude constitute approximately the next 3% of the class. Those designated cum laude constitute approximately the next 6% of the class. The students who have been nominated to these distinctions are wearing gold robes or green robes with gold cords and will be identified separately as they receive their diplomas. Please stand now as a group and be recognized. Thank you. Additionally, scholastic achievement and professional potential are recognized by various national honor societies. Select members of the 2011 graduating class have been recognized for their achievements through initiation into Chi Sigma Phi. Chi Sigma Phi is the only national honor society which recognizes students in forestry and all natural resource areas. Students who maintain excellent academic records and who exhibit outstanding potential for success in their specific professional areas are invited to membership. You will recognize these graduates by their green, white, and gold stoles. Would the initiates of the Chi Sigma Phi please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Rich, I think it's back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Cottrell. Our master's and PhD graduates officially received their degrees this afternoon in a separate ceremony. However, we want to say a special congratulations to these graduates. Now I would like to invite Dr. Rick Miranda to please come to the podium to give the charge to the class of 2014.
Thank you, Rich. And thank you all for being here tonight. It's a wonderful night to be at Colorado State and be in this wonderful building. It's our first commencement in this new building, in this new hall, which is about a quarter bigger than it was 2 years ago. And we also have the great pleasure of welcoming for his first commencement our new dean, Dr. John Hayes, as well. So lots of good things tonight, good firsts for the college. And of course, one of the best new things are all of our graduates. So good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all of you tonight. You've been spending your years here in Fort Collins studying with each other and with our faculty, preparing yourself for your next destination by getting a great education. And I trust transforming yourselves into thoughtful, articulate, mature citizens of our country and of our world. And I'm glad that you have been doing all that because we need you. Boy, do we ever. We need you badly. Now, it's true that every generation has its challenges, and then it hands off what it hasn't been able to do to the next generation to tackle. And our generation has done a lot. It's taken us a long way in many dimensions, but we've also left an enormous amount to do. And moreover, there are reasons to think that in your special areas of expertise, in issues dealing with our natural world, our environment, and how we as human beings relate to our planet, we're at a critical point in history where what is left to do just now, just at this moment, in this time, in your century, will determine our future for a millennium. The language and rhetoric of the way we have traditionally spoken of the disciplines in natural resources, they use words like conservation, sustainability, resilience, restoration, stewardship, words that connote a strong attachment to stability. And of course, we know and delight in the rhythms and variations of the natural world, the variations in ecosystem as we change locations. And Milton wrote a line that I enjoy. He wrote, "At last he rose and twitched his mantle blue. Tomorrow to fresh woods and pastures new." If you wanted something different, you moved somewhere else, and you got something different. But the world itself didn't change so much. And there's also a poetic pleasure in the change of the seasons as well. There's a lot of variation in that direction. But even those variations are noted to be cyclical, right? Passing from one state to another and then back again. Returning to the original state is the expectation. Stability again. Change, though, is now the inescapable constant in all of our lives. Future shock was the buzzword when I was graduating from college some years ago. Referring to technological and social change faster than we'd ever experienced before, coming with warnings that it was faster than we could handle. Maybe it was right. Today, many of the concerns of our age and the way we are starting to think of our planet are expressed in terms of climate change, with the critical part now being the word change again. There is an increasing realization, even among the general populace, that the future of Earth will not look like its past in the near and middle term. Now, those of us who know about the Earth's past realize that the Earth has changed a lot over the millennia. Here in this room are experts in that, in fact, of course. But the new element that is in play in the 21st century is the speed of the change. We're not talking about geologic change anymore. The possibly sudden effects on our world, our home, because of this. We are struggling to understand what these effects will be and how they will be expressed. And when we speak of climate change, we're speaking of big changes that humanity did not really intend to happen. There are also big changes that are more or less intentional that are affecting our world as well. The percentage of our planet that we as a species control is increasing every decade. Are we approaching a world where we will see the end of nature? It's almost certain that in this century, we will finally finish the terraforming of planet Earth. Will we have a standing room only planet? How will we inhabit that world? What will our relationship to nature be? And how will we react to the changes, the big, fast transformations that are to come? Well, I've been speaking of adapting or mitigating what we perceive as negative changes now. There are other viewpoints. George Bernard Shaw wrote, "The reasonable person adapts to the world, and the unreasonable person persists in trying to adapt the world to them. Therefore, all progress is made by unreasonable people." So maybe there's some hope for that kind of approach. So what should be our strategy about transformation? Challenges of change. How to adapt or how to transform. Well, here at the university, we have an answer to the strategy. And that answer reflects our particular mission and expertise. We are going to transform you, our students. Well, to be fair, we facilitated your transformation of yourself. Now, you've all gotten a great education here at CSU. And today we've gathered together with your family and friends to celebrate that. You've all arrived here today far different people than when you came to CSU all those years ago. You have already transformed yourselves into educated experts in natural resources. Now, my first charge for you is to not stop. Continue to transform yourself. Whatever path you decide to take will require change, will require introspection, will require embracing a new you. If you take up that challenge, you will have a wonderful and exciting life and be a much more dangerous person and useful person. Now, we know that you will all face challenges over and above the challenge of changing yourself. But we can be sure of one thing: your education, your critical thinking skills, your training in natural resources, and the values of integrity, character, tolerance, respect, and a commitment to excellence are what you will personally need and what our society will require of you to effectively meet all of those challenges that will lie ahead. So my final charge for you today is to value, honor, and use your own education. Use it. In other words, behave like educated people, for God's sakes. Pay it forward. Insist on quality and work to improve education at all levels, in your own families, in your local community schools, and of course in our state universities, whether multisyllabic or monosyllabic. Well, we look forward to your future and your support. And with yours and others' help, students for many generations to come will be transforming themselves and the entire planet here at Colorado State University. Thank you very much, and congratulations again.
Thank you, Dr. Miranda. Now, will Dr. Dorothy Harrell please come forward to confer the degrees?
Well, this is the moment that you've been waiting for. And I'd like to add my congratulations to all of the graduates, and I hope that the future is very bright indeed for you. We are so grateful that you have selected Colorado State University, and now that will become your alma mater. And I have no doubt that as the years pass on, your relationship and connection to this institution will become even more precious, as it has for me, and as you heard from your speaker tonight as well, that once you have spent this portion of your life at this institution, it's something that you'll always take great pride in, I have no doubt. So at this point, it is my distinct pleasure to say these words to all of you. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of the Colorado State University System, I hereby confer the Bachelor of Science degree on each of you, together with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Will the audience please join me in congratulating our graduates?
Congratulations. Would Dean Hayes and John Moore please come forward? Now, if Mr. Rocky Coleman, faculty of the Department of Forest and Rangeland Stewardship, would begin introducing the graduates of 2014.
The Department of Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Jonathan David Lindquist, Bachelor of Science, Watershed Science. Allison Rose Stanfield, Bachelor of Science, Watershed Science. Singnan Chu, Bachelor of Science, Watershed Science. Hunter Braden Brill, Bachelor of Science, Watershed Science. Matthew Thomas Menk, Bachelor of Science, Watershed Science. The Department of Geosciences. Aaron Olson Brown, Bachelor of Science, Geology. Sin Nolan Coyle, Bachelor of Science, Geology. Brian Robert Gable, Bachelor of Science, Geology. Joseph Matthew Glover, Bachelor of Science, Geology. John Norman Heil, Bachelor of Science, Geology. Ethan Eric Kircher, Bachelor of Science, Geology. Jordan Todd McCullough, Bachelor of Science, Geology. Colton Richard Rista, Bachelor of Science, Geology. Skylar Shane Smith, Bachelor of Science, Geology. Francesca Valencia, Bachelor of Science, Geology. The Department of Human Dimensions of Natural Resources. Win Gao, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resource, Recreation and Tourism. Todd Johnson, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. Ryan Matthey, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. Gregory E. Over, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resource, Recreation and Tourism. Daniel Robert Pileman, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. David Sharon, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. Matthew Tyler Sill, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. Claire Elizabeth Scatabo, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resource, Recreation and Tourism, magna cum laude. Ty Skoy, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. Megan Stoffer, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. Megan Jo Wapst, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. Kayla Christine Wine, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. Nikki Antonio, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. Megan Danielle Bossy, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resource, Recreation and Tourism. Skylar J. Brandt, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resource, Recreation and Tourism. Krista Jean Check, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. Anders Dahlberg, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Recreation and Tourism. The Department of Forest and Rangeland Stewardship. Adam Michael Yates, Bachelor of Science, Forestry. Darren Matthew Pasusik, Bachelor of Science, Forestry. Brendan Matthew McLaughlin, Bachelor of Science, Forestry. John Thomas Shaver, Bachelor of Science, Forestry. Cameron James Taylor, Bachelor of Science, Forestry. Michael Harold Voth, Bachelor of Science, Forestry. Brielle Ashley Welch, Bachelor of Science, Forestry. Lindsay Marie Wickery, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Stephen Scott Carey Wilson, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Ian Edward McDonald, Bachelor of Science, Rangeland Ecology. Charles Kent Waddell, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Taylor K. Matthews, Bachelor of Science, Forestry. Megan Fitzgerald Nickel, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Catherine Elise O'Connell, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Mitchell James Steffen, Bachelor of Science, Rangeland Ecology. Paul Duran Martin, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Sarah Victoria Newton, Bachelor of Science, Rangeland Ecology. Rebecca Leanne Hobson, Bachelor of Science, Rangeland Ecology. Ivy Blue Hunt, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Kelsey Ann Jarvis, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Cody Hill, Bachelor of Science, Fire and Emergency Services Administration. Neil Ryan Larson, Bachelor of Science, Rangeland Ecology. Rachel Ann Ray, Bachelor of Science, Forestry. Brianna Marie Garza, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Jared James Vaughn, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Catherine Ruth Harris, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Jeremiah Bruce Brown, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Taylor Danielle Martin Hausler, Bachelor of Science, Rangeland Ecology. Cody John Rarick, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Giovanni Serenel, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Eric Gregory Kelly, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Leah Maxine Dar, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Tanner Dean Bonham, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Samuel Taylor Hanna, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Elliot Bennett, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Jonathan Grant Hess, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. Mitchell Lewis Hodge, Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources Management. The Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. LaShonda Shanae Anderson, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Justin James Henry Bartlett, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Ashley Nicole Brown, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. John Joseph Bustillos, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Elena Maureen Carter, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology, magna cum laude. Evan James Casey, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Randy Joseph Chris, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology, cum laude. Michael Jeremy Faulkner, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Michael A. Gallegos, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Adam Lee Gerstenberger, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Emily Rose Grabowski, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Emmett Liam Guy, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Carrie Lee Howard, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Amber Leah Jeffries, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Adam Thomas Jordan, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Chelsea Aaron Kendrick, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Daniel R. Marati, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Matthew Lewis Menke, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Timothy Richard Paul, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Calandria Page Puntany, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology, cum laude. Ian Thomas Smith, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Erica K. Spees, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Anna Marina Stearns, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Torrin Leanne Jake Schaefer, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology, magna cum laude. Nicole Lynn Stromberg, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Tracy Marie Susan, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Cody James Zink, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Jesse David Elgren, Bachelor of Science, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Mr. John Adamson, accepting the posthumous degree of Bachelor of Science in Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology with a concentration in wildlife biology for Catherine Adamson. Katie loved the outdoors, including fishing, gardening, and flowers. She was also an accomplished horsewoman riding with the Western Airs for 10 years. Above all, she loved wildlife and wanted to become a zookeeper, interning at the Denver Zoo. She was fondly regarded by her professors and her fellow students, and her passion for life and wildlife.
That's got to feel good, graduates. Please join me in congratulating the WCNR graduates of 2014. Now, will Dr. Patrick Burns please come forward to inform students of their new role as alumni?
Thank you. When you stepped on this campus for the first time, you were one of 27,000 students who donned the green and the gold and began to look forward to this day, the day you would walk across the stage and receive your diplomas. Well, that day has finally arrived. Today, you assume a position of honor as a graduate of CSU. You are now part of a family of 200,000 Colorado State alumni worldwide, and on behalf of the Alumni Association, I would like to congratulate you on your successful odyssey to become alumni. As that journey ends, a new one begins, and your CSU Alumni Association is and always will be there to help you settle into a new city, network with fellow alumni, and stay connected to CSU. To engage, we invite you to, of course, visit our website to peruse the plethora of services we offer, join our LinkedIn alumni group, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We're never more than a click away whenever you need our help. 5 years from now, you will be wondering where the time has gone and how your college roommates and friends are doing. We'll be here to help you connect. No matter what you need, look us up. We'll always be your connection to CSU and your fellow Rams. Wishing you all the best as you explode into the world and make your mark. Please stay in touch, be an active graduate, and recall the sage advice of Will Rogers, who said, "An education is a wonderful thing, and every college graduate ought to have one." Go Rams!
Would Dean Hayes please come forward now to provide our closing remarks?
Wow, great evening. I'm going to go off for script for just a minute to thank Andy Worth and Provost Miranda for two of the best presentations that I have personally ever heard at a graduation. Thank you so much. So it's truly been a great evening, and I know everyone's anxious to move on to their celebrations with your friends and family, so I will be brief. But I'm going to leave you with only 3 requests. The first is stay in touch. We'd love to see you at Natural Resources Days, seminars, alumni gatherings, or college or university events. We look forward to have many of you continue to engage with us and work together as we build on the passion that we all share with one another. The second, I'll repeat what maybe some others have already said. Your hard work has given you the skills, the knowledge, and the opportunity to do great things and to make a difference in the world. Take advantage of it, go forth and do great things. And finally, and probably the last request I'll ever make of you, would you please stand and join me and John Lewick in the singing of the Colorado State University alma mater. The words can be found on the first page of the commencement program.
Colorado State, memories are everlasting. gold unite us, loyal ever be. Colorado State, our alma mater, hail, all hail to thee.
Okay, please be seated. Congratulations once again to all of our graduates, and thank you so much to all the guests who joined us this evening. That concludes our ceremony. Please remain seated as the platform group, the faculty, and the students exit.
That's a Wednesday? Why are we doing a Wednesday?
Because we can't do a Monday or Tuesday.
He can't do Tuesday. I didn't know, he had asked me about the 5th, which couldn't work for me.
I gotta give up my pool.
I can't do the 5th. I'm having.
Huh?